Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Frank's Unsolicited Advice. And I've been trying to record this episode for a couple of days now. I've done it twice, once deleted, once I have it. And I don't know, I'm not feeling it. And now that I'm starting to record on Zoom to be able to put on YouTube, it's kind of hard. I don't do takes and then I have to edit and stuff. So I try to just re-record until I get the right message. But recently, uh, me and my wife were talking. And we were talking because we are growing. And to give you a little backdrop on it, my wife and I have been together since 2001 and we got married in 2003. So, we've been married come October, roughly 19 years, you know? Yeah, 19 years because next year, 2023, we'll make 20 years married. And we separated for 5 years of that time because of me, mostly, I believe that when you're in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a business, a marriage, a partnership, even parenting, it's a relationship, co-parenting. You only could be accountable for your own actions. You can't be accountable for the other person's actions, right? Because we all have a right to make our choices. And excuse my shirt for being wrinkled. I just grabbed it, put it on, didn't want to wear the same shirt that I slept in to record. But you can only be accountable for your own actions. And when I say that is because at the end of the day, if a person does something wrong to you, you have to be your conscious and you're aware of what you're going to do next. So I'll give you an example. Everybody knows what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. Will Smith decided to take matters into his own hands. I believe it was a little uncalled for. He felt that Chris Rock disrespected his wife, and he smacked Chris Rock. So at that point, he made his choice. Now, Chris Rock could have easily came back and, smacked him back or fought him on stage, and he maintained his composure. And I believe that at that moment, maybe it was shock that he didn't realize what happened, or maybe it's the fact that he knew in the situation they were in with the Oscars, that it wouldn't be good TV for him or for his brand. First, it wasn't good for minorities, period. But it wasn't good for people at all. You're people with money, and this is how you're acting, right? So Chris Rock didn't allow Will Smith's action to cause him to do something back in return. He took the high road. And in my opinion, it worked better for him. It did. So that's what I mean by when you can't account for other people's actions and you can't let another person's actions impact your decision. You have to make your decision based on what you're going to do and own it at the end of the day. So in relationships, we make decisions or we grow, and it's a little complex because it's not just one thing. But as we get older in our relationships, as our relationships grow and the time passes, we change, we make decisions, we mature, we start learning other things that change us to the better to a certain extent, and sometimes not to the better, but it depends on the person you're dealing with. And I say that because, like I said, my wife and I were separated for those 5 years, and as much as I'm own my own piece of the pie on that, when we came back together, it's like we're relearning each other all over again. For 5 years, she was taking care of the kids. I was in Bahrain. Then I was on the bush, did a deployment, came back. We decided to work things out. And then we moved back in together. So what happens? People change over time. People change in a matter of a day. An experience can happen at work and you come home and you're a different person. You could wake up that morning and have come to Jesus moment in your life and say, you know what, I need to be healthier. So I'm going to stop eating this, or I'm going to start working out, or I'm going to stop drinking, or I'm going to stop smoking. And you just, that's just life. It's a natural course. So 5 years separated, we come back together and we're relearning certain things, right? There's certain things that are natural, certain things that are normal, certain things that won't change. I.e., we like to watch movies together. That's never been a change. We like watching TV shows together. That's never changed. But us as individuals, there have been some changes, right? When we separated, I was forced to be a more independent person and not rely on her so much for some of that daily day stuff that I should be doing, right? And it taught me to appreciate having the companionship of persons there. And that got me thinking, friendships are the same way, right? Sometimes you think, oh, you know, I'm gonna go hang out with my girls, I'm gonna hang out with my boys, and we're gonna take this vacation together. But what happens is that what made us, what did it for us when we was 18, 19 years old, that might not do it for us at 20, 30, 40 years old. And I say that, another example, myself, I go back home to the Bronx. That's not to say that me and my boys can't hang out and talk. I do feel like there's been times where the growth has been different, where I left, I joined the Navy, I traveled, I've seen different things, and they went on to do their own thing and be productive in their realm. When we come together, what we used to do it for us might not do it for us no more. Meaning, in high school, we would sit back, my boys would make beats and rap, and that was our day. You know, we would get up, my boy Larry come from his block to my block, and we all go down the block and chill, and we'd be outside all day doing absolutely nothing but hanging out together. After a while, those things change for us, right? Those things that we used to do to pass the time that made sense to us or that was dope for us ain't the same no more today. I.e., I have children now, you know, I have a wife. I can't do the same things I used to do, you know, same thing with them. You know, some of them have kids, some of them have their career, some of them are on a different type of vibe, a different type of time, which isn't bad because that's part of life. And that means your relationships just either you adapt that or you don't. You either grow into that or you don't. You either communicate and understand that, yo, L, you might be doing something different, but I still love you, bro. You still my brother. And I know if I need you, I can call you, and vice versa. I have some friends I don't talk to every day, but when I pick up the phone, we pick up where we left off at. And that's friendship. That's real life-ish. You know what I'm saying? Because nothing's going to stay the same. There's no growth in that. There's no movement forward. There's nothing, there's no improvements. There's none of that. If we all stay in the same spot that we've been the whole time and never adapt or grow or take chances, we will never fail. We'll never succeed. We'll just be in the same spot. So it got me thinking about growth. It got me thinking about communication. It got me thinking about how it's okay for people not to be the same that they was before. But, you know, it also pertains to relationships. As we get together and we become one, think about it. If you've been with your wife or your husband or whatever you're into since like 9th grade or 8th grade, you're telling me that 20 years down the road, you're not going to feel something different, that things are not going to be a little different, that the exposure to the world isn't going to change your mindset or your thought of what you want to try, traveling, experiencing, seeing different things. Of course, you're going to change. Of course, things are going to, you're not going to be the same person, because if you stay the same, then there's no growth again. Right. And I think that the problem is that we don't communicate that in our relationships. We don't communicate that because we're either too scared to touch topics that matter, or we don't want to hear or deal rejection. We don't want to deal with the problem at hand, which is okay to tell your person, your friend, your significant other, your husband, your wife, your business partner, hey, look, man, hey, things ain't the same no more. And I want to go in a different direction, or I'm going towards this way. Is there a way that we can communicate and still work this together? I don't want to lose what we have. And I think that's big in marriages, right? I feel that in relationships and marriages, we in today's society, they're so quick to just say, hey, I could just find me a new one. It's like trading a car in. I'm gonna trade the car in because the car is having issues instead of fixing the car. Instead of fixing the creak in the house or the door that's a little slanted because the house settled. No, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sell the house and buy a new one because I don't want to deal with the problems. And relationships aren't like that. Relationships are meant to go through your ups and downs, and are meant to have communication. And if you're religious, is to rely on your faith in whichever God you believe in, to get you past that. You know, I always tell people, if you're in a marriage, you don't seek counsel from a single person. They're single for a reason. Okay. And it's not to say that the single person cannot give you any sound advice. It's just that their type of time or their vibe is not your vibe. It's not your situation. So, and my wife and I had a long conversation, and that's what got me to re-record this. This is my 3rd time now. because the first time I didn't think I was making the sense. And then I sit here 2 days later, she comes back from out of town trip with her best friend that she met in the Navy. And we're talking about different things. And she's like, and I said, man, I just recorded an episode on this and I deleted it. Then I'm talking to my boy Mel, and Jamel's like, yeah, you should never delete it. I want to hear it. And I feel like today I'm kind of delivering the message the way I need to deliver it, because before I feel like I was all over the place. But this is, and I think it's because I didn't want to record something I spoke about previously. But there's nothing wrong with readdressing things, because that's just life. So in a relationship, we're gonna have the struggles, we're gonna have the growth, and we just need to talk about those growth. We need to address those growth, and it's gonna help you come to a conclusion, right? And friendship, business, marriage, whatever, if we come to a path where I've changed so much, or my thought frame has been so different, and we can't have a middle ground to be able to move forward together, then that tells us that our time together has run its course. And that's okay. That's fine, because it's better to be honest with each other. It's better to be honest with your friend, your partner, your significant other, whoever you're involved in that relationship with, than keep lying to each other and then expecting it to get better when it's not. Right. I think one of the biggest things in relationships, especially marriages as they get older, is we don't talk about what we want sexually. We shy away from it. We don't want to make our partner feel inadequate, feel wrong. We don't want to look crazy. But let's be honest, what turned you on at 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, whenever you discovered your sexuality, might not be the same thing that turns you on when you're older in life, more mature, had more experience, had time to learn. When you've only had one sexual experience in life, you can't really base everything off that one. I mean, you're going to base it off that one, but then you get open to other things. And you're like, wow, that didn't like, but this I like more, and that's how growth happens. That's one of the things I feel that in relationships is struggles, talking about the hard things. So I use that specific subject or topic as the example, but there's so many things, because it could be weight loss. It could be, my wife the other day said, Frank, I want you to lose 20 more pounds. And I said, why? I was curious. And she goes, because I want you to be healthier. And I said, well, you know what? I could appreciate that. And I do want to lose weight. It's just, I don't have the motivation. I just don't. I don't know what it is. Maybe I need to keel over and almost die for me to wake up and realize that 20 pounds ain't going to hurt me to lose. But my wife said it, and I respect her for that. And it wasn't in a bad connotation. It wasn't in a bad tone. It wasn't negative. It wasn't like, oh man, you got to lose weight. You fat. No, she expressed her concern, and I appreciate that. In one of our conversations, I told my wife, yo, your time management sucks. And she came back and said, I want to improve that. And you see, that's the type of communication that needs to happen in relationships in order to move forward. And it's okay, again, to understand that, man, things ain't the same no more, but I still love you. I'm still love you, bro. I still, sis, you know what, man, we was best friends then. We still cool now. And if you need me, I'm there for you. But, we just not on the same type of time. And that's okay. That's fine. The point of it being honest and communicating, to know that it's all right. Things change, bro. Like things really change. And what happens, I think, sometimes in life, oh man, when we're young, we let go of certain things, right? When we're young, certain things that our friends do or our partner does, or we just let it slide because we're young. Excuse me. And then we get older, and those things bother us because our perspective changed, because our view on something changed, because our life changed. And now the things that we used to do might bother us a little bit more. And I kind of touched on it earlier in this podcast. I said, things are going to change, and what once did it for you might not do it for you now. And I said, that's fine. That's fine, because where I'm at in life might not be where you're at in life anymore. And if we can't meet in the middle somewhere and maintain it, then the best thing to do is just be honest and keep it where it's at. I'm a firm believer of meeting people where they're at. I try not to get too worked up when I see certain things. I try to I'm very understanding for certain things, like, hey, that person's just how they are, and that's not going to change. And as long as I understand that, I can handle them the way they need to be handled. The problem comes in when I don't understand it and I want to change the person. Now I have a situation in my hands because I can't change somebody. I have to meet them where they're at and accept them for who they are. And if I can't accept them for who they are, then I don't need to be around them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's also part of the change and growth in relationships and people, is that sometimes we don't want to meet people where they're at. We want them to meet us where we're at. When that doesn't work that way, we should meet them where they're at and they should meet us where we're at. And if that means that we can't be the same way anymore, then we just can't be the same way anymore. I'm also a firm believer in relationships having a purpose. And sometimes that purpose is a long purpose, long time friendship, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes the relationship is supposed to be forever, and sometimes it's not. That's why there's a reason people wake up after 25, 30 years of being married, or the kids out the house, and say, you know what, I want out. I'm not happy. I haven't been happy. And now I can be this person. When you look at people that have been married and all of a sudden decide to come out with their truth, and now they're living their truth, meaning they're, a lesbian or homosexual or whatever. And it's because they woke up and said, you know what, I don't want to be that no more. I'm not happy. I can't fake it no more. I'm going to be my real self. And if this is not, obviously this is not something we can still be part of together, but I just need you to understand this is who I am. So understanding another person, meeting them where they're at, having good communication, understand that there's going to be change in a relationship. There's going to be change in people. There's going to be changes that are going to cause a strain, maybe test the limits or bonds of what you have, but bring you closer. It's fine. It's fine. So I guess in closing, what I wanted to say and what I was trying to relate, or what I want to relate to you, is that, look, nothing stays the same. Everybody changes. Everything changes. It's evolution, it's growth, it's life. And the best thing that we can do as humans when it comes to dealing with our significant others, our friends, our family, our business partners, whatever, is understand that, guess what? Maybe the time of us being as close has run its course, and you're changing. Let me see if I can be around in your change. Maybe I can fit somewhere in your change and we can still maintain it. But if not, it's okay. We can still be cool. I just know that right now we just can't be in the same space going the same way. Also in relationships, you got to work hard at it. Your marriage, you just can't trade in the wife because you want a new wife, because the old wife ain't washing the dishes no more, whatever it is. You have to push through it. You can't have, we cannot expect to have what our grandparents had or whoever had as the example, if not understand that there was a lot of work put in that. And I feel like in today's society, it takes a lot more conversation and understanding and trust and growth in a relationship for it to last than it did back in the day. But that's a whole nother topic, another conversation. So this is changing and growth. This is going to be called change in life, growth. And, hopefully my message reached somebody today, but that was my thoughts. That's my unsolicited advice for today. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe. Again, Frank Presents The Play Call is now The Play Call. I don't want to just be Frank when there's 3 other people there, but my other podcast we record once a week. It's out weekly. It's The Play Call. It's about football. Subscribe to both. Like, share, please support, and thank you for listening.